I say, whoa, now, Dad, it's your boy, the Toothless Wonder, out here on a hot day. And I'm running around doing errands, dropping deliveries off, whatever the case may be, keeping the head above water, you know what I'm talking about? Uh, and I go through these various, emotions, feelings. As much as I'm mindful to, I attempt not to let my feelings, emotions dictate my decision-making behavior, so forth, so on. But sometimes it can get heavy, trying different things, seemingly it's not working the way you would like to or how you expect. And I understand, the lost art of keeping your expectations low but your standards high. Meaning I don't really expect a whole lot out of, particular people, places, things, situations. But my standard for anything I delve myself into is quite high. Very self-critical, my own, worst critic or whatever. And constructive criticism, not necessarily beat myself up, anything along those lines. Excuse me. Um, but in light of all that, the spiritual warfare, the heaviness was the word, heavy, like just, doubt, fears, all that. I like to believe, no matter how alpha you want to claim to be, we all have those doubts, fears. They say courage isn't the absence of fear, it's carrying on or acting in spite of the feeling. But in light of all those things I've been battling this week, I got into the solar field, that's not working. On to the next skill, CDL, but then it'll cause a lot of ripping and running on my part because the school's about an hour and a half away. I use these various delivery apps to maintain, put money in my pocket. Still need to exercise, reflect, so it'll be real tight. I can get it in a month though. And yeah, finances wise, but I'd rather be into something that I find fulfilling. And that would be fulfilling in the essence of garnering a certain amount of finance in an effort to, facilitate, my goal, like buying my own land, getting out of a little debt I got, continuing to buy gold and silver, upgrading my personal skill set. Here in Maryland, they pardoned a bunch of my fault. They pardoned a bunch of marijuana convictions, of which I got a felony. That's roughly about it's got to be about 20 years old now, which would hold me back from legally pursuing the ability to carry a firearm. So I got a lawyer looking into that. As I cleaned my act up, expunged a bunch of stuff off my record as it became eligible to do so. And then, I routinely reflect, do a lot of self-analysis, make sure I ain't getting egotistical, bitter, ungrateful, because all those things have tripped me up in the past. And then I was just thinking back, after I simmered down in my spirit, I'm like, yo, even when I was dead wrong, and within the last 40 months, I've just been trying to act right or operate in a certain semblance of wisdom, right? This is kind of new and uncharted water for me. I've been shucking and jiving the better part of a quarter century. Bad decisions, impulsivity, addiction, codependency, and a plethora of other things that, as I went along this journey without stepping off the path, I ended up, alleviating things that I didn't even know I needed to be corrected. I had to do a speech at a class before I was ready to graduate the rehab I was at. And I said, man, I really don't know how much I worked the program, quote unquote, other than attempting to surrender to the best of my knowledge at the time. The program / the journey that the Most High set forth has worked on me. I lost the desire to do certain things and then be going like, yo, I don't want to do that no more. But it might have been like 6 months since I had that thought. And then it just dawns on me later on. But this video is really in light of, typically after I go through like real hard spiritual warfare, I come to like a new epiphany. Like, yo, even when I was dead wrong and shucking and jiving and making like all the stuff I aforementioned, the Most High always provided a way, right? I've been homeless, spent up all my money. When I used to put the coke in my weed and all that crazy stuff for about a 7-year period off and on, found myself homeless. And he always led me to safety, whether it was an abandoned house. I remember one time I was actually living I found my way. I was working across the bridge, but I was homeless. But, you get paid, whatever. So I get dropped up because I don't want to tell nobody I'm homeless. And I'm dirty from doing like hard manual labor. And I actually got led to a burned out house, right? But the crazy thing about it, the house had fire damage to it, like severe fire damage. But the water was still on and the electricity still worked. So I could still take a shower and not look crazy. Put the same clothes on going to work. And I could still charge my phone to contact boss man, you know, whatever. I had another incident. I left a rehab in North Carolina because it's one of them like work camps where they just work you half to death, but they don't care nothing about you. And if you got your own independent thoughts, they shun you. You know what I'm saying? But they structure so that you're completely codependent on them, and you don't have any outside resources, you know, other than maybe, you know, what you came in or what you know prior to coming into that facility, right? So I leave that joint. Now I'm in North Carolina where I don't know nobody, but I ain't staying here though. That's for damn sure. So it was like late March. So the crazy thing about it, it was pretty nice, about 70 degrees during the day. So at the time, liquor was cheap, well, beer, whatever, liquor cheap, whatever. So I'm like, all right. So I start sipping a little bit. I think I had like $20. Bought me a pack of cigarettes. So I'm feeling this feeling of freedom, right? Even though I don't know what I'm doing, know where I'm going at. But I'm out here, you know what I'm talking about? Man, by the time the sun dropped, it ended up being the coldest night in North Carolina that year. Bro, I walked around not knowing which direction I was headed, where I was going at. I think I found a school bus. I snuck on there, went to sleep. But it was so cold, I couldn't go to sleep because I was shivering. So I'm just walking, praying. By the grace of God, I'm walking in the direction of downtown. And because, again, I don't look homeless, I go to sleep at the train station. And it was actually on the path of a church that I said whenever I got out, I would go back to. So mind you, I wake up next morning, I don't know what the hell I'm about to do. But let me give it up to the Most High, and then we'll whatever. So I called my mom. Of course, she fussed me out. Went to church. Didn't say nothing to nobody. The dude behind me said he felt it in the spirit. Ended up getting into a homeless shelter, and you know, and time proceeds on. But I'm just thinking about I'm not perfect, not by a long shot, but I damn sure trying to do the right thing for the right reason, the right way. You know what I'm saying? So even if at the end of the day, you know, it might have been a frustrating day or whatever, but I ain't messing nobody over. I ain't do nothing slick. I ain't do nothing I ain't know I ain't supposed to do to make it easier on me. You know what I'm saying? And wake up, put my armor on, go to battle again tomorrow. See, I'll get caught up because I want certain stuff to happen at a certain time because I've been putting in work in numerous different areas, skill set wise, financially, business wise, attempting to connect with like-minded brothers online in real life, you know, interpersonally, you know, relationally, and ain't none of it work. But it all works out because previous to me get to this point, I was at the end of my rope. And then he provided a breakthrough that I had been working on for over a year that I thought the door was closed on. And then I end up getting into a field of work that was based on my experiences that I wanted nothing to do with. Then I was able to facilitate certain things that I had planned. It just didn't come through the field. You know what I'm saying? So this one just reminded me and anybody who's listening that God always provides. See, I'm an intellectual type. So I'm like, well, how you going to do it? I don't know these people. I don't have this resource. Woo. I ain't never had none of that. Man, I should have been dead about 300,000 times, man. You know what I'm saying? After I broke my neck, I ran through about $70,000 in 6 months. Blessing people, you know what I'm saying? Figuring, you know, they tried to fade me before the money, but I'm thinking maybe, you know what I'm saying, I'm just doing the right thing, unwisely. And then once all the money was gone, ain't nobody know me no more. You talking about humiliated and how stupid I felt. Man, I was like, man. Now I'm outside again. But he started teaching, at that point, my personal responsibility. Like, I knew these people wasn't shit. But because I couldn't be by myself at the time, because I was running from a near-death experience, and then I had a significant other pass away in the same time period, I was just using all that shit as a strategy. I knew they wasn't up. I just felt like they ain't gonna go but so far, like they ain't gonna try to hurt me or nothing. You know what I'm saying? They might work me out some money, or, you know what I'm saying, they might not have my best interest at heart. But if I get too drunk, they ain't gonna leave me there. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. So that was all on me. And that's where my wilderness period started. So I found myself able to get into like the storage unit of an apartment complex, right? So I was homeless for about a year. The first 40 days, I was outside till I found out another homeless shelter because I attempted to do something, pay to get locked up, and the policeman wouldn't even let me He wouldn't even let me get locked up. It was like nah, you gotta feel this, cuz I got you though. You don't know it yet, but I got you. Yo, periodically I will find just $5, $10 on the ground. Somehow I'm on foot, and I don't feel like lugging a whole bunch of stuff. But I always managed to keep a change of clothes somehow. Like, I was home, but I didn't look homeless. You go somewhere, shave, whatever. There was one point where I think we were facing a hurricane. So I knew I was going to be stuck in this little storage joint, like 3 days. Somehow it seemed like he moved the entire storm just for me not to be stuck in that joint for 3 days. Because I used to go out, true story, I used to go out like 11, 12 o'clock at night and go behind KFC and find the still fresh hot chicken. Yeah, boy, I got real Negro store. Yes, sir. Ain't nobody messing with you. But prior to all that, I was putting out everybody else's fire. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, certain stuff wasn't working back then. But I had to feel the pain. Because the memory of the pain stopped me from doing certain stuff now that I can do. Like, just go mess with whoever, or let me out-slick these people. I see I can do it. But one, I don't want to do it because they ain't in my heart. Two, man, I'm scared. I'm scared he gonna put them dukes on me. I don't want no. Man, it was like God beat me up so good. I said, man, I want to join your squad now. So I still got the same issue, as far as, finances or attempt to get certain skills under my belt, whatever. But he's always provided a way. So why wouldn't he continue to do so now that I'm actually trying? You know what I'm saying? And it's happened along, like, since I've been out of work. Cumulatively for over a year. Anytime I had some type of financial thing, I had a financial resource I ain't know nothing about, or I made money doing something that was just enough to get me to woo, or, certain stuff pop up, and then if you don't address this, we'll do this, and then I magically got the money. You know what I'm saying? Through whatever means. Shoot, I ain't even tripping. The only thing I be tripping because I want to get my own land. Like, I want to learn these certain type of skills, like homesteading. But then I feel like because of what I gotta do I don't have the time to break off to actually pursue it the way I want. Whoop. Man, you be all right. Because here's something that's crazy about me, right? If I feel like I need to learn it, I quickly pick it up. Or it's almost like that scene on The Matrix where I think they was on the rooftop and they had to use the helicopter to get away. So Neo radioed to the base and they downloaded how to fly a helicopter. It's almost like the Most High has the ability to do that. Like, you never been good at this, but I need you to be good at it now. So here's the code. Boop. Now I'm doing stuff people ain't never seen me do. You know what I'm saying? But that's a quick one, man. Just remind everybody the Most High will always provide.